When I got accepted into med school, I couldn't wait to tell my dad. He didn't say congratulations, he said. Who's going to watch your sister's kids now? I thought he was joking. He wasn't. My sister called that night and said, "You owe me this." I put my life on hold first. I delayed my acceptance for a year, then another. Then it expired. Years later, she sent me a video of her new house with the caption, "Built from sacrifices." I knew exactly whose. I got the email on a Tuesday afternoon. I'd just finished wiping down exam tables at the clinic where I worked part-time. The subject line said, "Congratulations." I clicked it with shaky hands. I got in. I got into med school. After all the late nights, the double shifts, the stress that made my hair fall out, I got in. I felt like I was floating. I called my dad right away. He picked up after 2 rings. I didn't even wait. "I got in, Dad. I got into med school." There was a pause. Not the kind where someone is too stunned or happy to speak. It was heavy. Cold. Then he said, "Who's going to watch your sister's kids now?" That was the first thing out of his mouth. Not, "I'm proud of you," not, "Congratulations." Just that. I actually laughed, thinking he was being sarcastic. He wasn't. He sighed. "You can't just leave them like that. She works nights. Those kids need stability. You've been helping for years. I've been helping while waiting to get into school. But this is my chance." Another pause. Then he said, "You're being selfish." That word hit me like a punch. I hung up. A half hour later, my sister called. She didn't waste time. "You owe me this," she said. I put my life on hold first. Remember that. She said it like it was a fact. Like it had been written down somewhere. Like I should be grateful she even said it out loud. Her life on hold was a choice. She married some loser straight out of high school. He worked 2 jobs for 6 months, then bailed to Florida. Left her with 3 kids. I stepped in because I loved those kids. I didn't complain. I fed them, bathed them, took them to school when she couldn't. But I never signed up to be a parent. I was their uncle, not their father. Still, they cornered me. My dad and my sister. Just 1 year, they said. I deferred. The next year, the school let me delay again. But it wasn't just 1 year. There was always something. One of the kids got sick, or she couldn't make rent, or she had to pick up extra shifts and needed me to stay with them. Then I got the email saying my acceptance had expired. No appeal. No second chances. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just went to work the next day like nothing happened. The only thing I felt was numb. I tried to bring it up with my dad a few months later. His response? "Well, at least you didn't waste all that tuition money." And my sister? She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Some people just aren't cut out for med school anyway." I swallowed my anger. I swallowed everything. Years passed. I stayed in that same job. The pay wasn't great, but it was steady. I got my own tiny place and started building some kind of life. I still helped with the kids sometimes. I didn't blame them. It wasn't their fault. Then, one day, a video message came in. It was from my sister. She stood in front of a massive 2-story house. White siding. Fresh concrete walkway. 2-car garage. She was holding a wine glass, grinning like a lottery winner. Her new husband, some slick-looking guy in loafers and sunglasses, filmed the whole thing. She waved at the camera and said, "Welcome to Casa Bennett." Then the caption popped up, "Built from sacrifices." I watched it 3 times. I wasn't even mad at first. Just stunned. That was her way of saying thanks. That was her way of reminding me how she climbed over my life to build hers. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling for hours, thinking about every night I missed studying, every opportunity one gave up, every lie I told myself that it was just temporary. That was the night something inside me snapped. I was done being the one who gave up everything. I wasn't going to ask for anything back. I was going to take it. I started small. It wasn't about revenge at first. It was about taking control. The clinic I worked at was short-staffed, so I picked up more hours. Nights, weekends, whatever they had. I saved every penny. No takeout, no vacations, no gifts. I cut off contact with my sister. I stopped visiting the kids. I didn't answer her texts. Not when she said I was being weird, not when she accused me of being jealous, not even when she guilted me with, "The kids miss you." I knew the moment I gave her an inch, she'd pull me back in. The silence drove her nuts. That told me everything I needed to know. 6 months later, I applied to a post-botch program across the state. I didn't tell anyone. I drove 3 hours to class, 3 hours back. Slept in my car some nights. I didn't care. I passed with a 4.0. My advisor said I was one of the most driven students he'd ever met. I applied to med school again. This time in another state. I got in. When I moved, I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell anyone. I left a box of keys and a short note in my old apartment. "Don't contact me unless it's an emergency. You'll figure things out." You always do. My phone stayed silent for 2 weeks. Then it blew up. First a text from my dad. "What the hell is this? Where are you?" Then my sister. "I can't believe you're doing this. After everything I sacrificed for you." I blocked them both. I had no space left in my life for people who saw me as a resource, not a person. But revenge? That came later. About a year into med school, I got a message on Facebook. It was from a guy named Chris. The name was familiar. I checked his profile. And there he was, my sister's ex. The kid's father. The guy who bailed to Florida 10 years ago. He was older now, balding, and, judging by the photos, struggling. He had a GoFundMe link on his page begging for help to pay legal fees. I shouldn't have clicked it, but I did. Turns out he wanted custody of the kids. I sat back, heart pounding. It wasn't just curiosity anymore. I knew exactly what I was going to do. Chris's GoFundMe wasn't gaining much traction. A few small donations, some pity comments. Nothing major. But what caught my eye was the description. He wrote, "I've made mistakes, but I'm ready to step up. My kids deserve a father, not just a caretaker who uses them for sympathy points and handouts." That last line hit me, because I knew exactly who he was talking about. I didn't trust Chris, but I didn't need to trust him. I just needed him to want back in. I started watching him online. He posted pictures of the kids he barely knew, said things like, "Can't wait to reunite with my angels." It made me sick, but it also gave me an idea. I created a burner account, something anonymous. I messaged him, pretending to be someone who knew the situation, someone who wanted to help him do the right thing. I fed him information. Court dates, who my sister's new husband was, what school the kids went to, little breadcrumbs I knew he'd use. He took the bait every time. Meanwhile, I reached out to an old friend from my hometown, Tina. She worked in the courthouse now. I didn't tell her everything, just enough. She owed me a favor. She pulled the custody records. That's when things got real. Turns out, my sister never filed for full custody after the divorce. Chris still had legal rights. She never thought he'd come back, so she never bothered. Big mistake. The case blew up faster than I expected. Chris filed a formal petition for custody. My sister panicked. She texted me from a new number. "What the hell is happening? Did you know about this?" I didn't respond. Then came the court dates. The depositions. The lawyers. My sister tried to fight it, but Chris, armed with every little weakness I fed him, put on a good show. Claimed she left the kids with me for years. Claimed neglect. Claimed they lived in chaos while she chased money and status. The court ordered a full evaluation. A social worker visited the house. That's when it unraveled. The new husband had a DUI. The kids missed a bunch of school days. One of them told the evaluator he wished Uncle, me, still lived here. My sister tried to spin it. She cried in court. Said she was doing her best. but I watched from the gallery. She didn't know I was there. I sat behind a tall guy in a flannel shirt and listened to her break down while the judge read out the report. Chris didn't get full custody, but he got weekends, summers, holidays. And my sister? She lost her perfect control over them. She moved again. Smaller house, fewer sacrifice posts. The new husband? He left 3 months after the custody change. She sent me one last message. You ruined my life. Hope med school was worth it. This time, I replied, built from sacrifices. Remember? I wasn't done yet. Med school pushed me to the edge. I was broke, tired, and constantly questioning if it was all worth it. I'd look around and see kids 10 years younger than me, fresh out of college, with no baggage. I was older, bitter, harder, but I never stopped. I passed step 1, then step 2. I ranked my residency programs. I matched emergency medicine in Denver. I packed my stuff and left everything behind again. By then, the messages from my dad and sister had stopped. I hadn't seen or spoken to either of them in almost 4 years. Then, one night, I got a call from an unknown number. It was one of my nephews. He was 60 now. His voice was deeper, and he was crying. She kicked me out, he said. Mom. She found out I was talking to Dad and said I betrayed her. I didn't know who else to call. I hadn't heard his voice in years. I told him to come. I paid for a bus ticket and picked him up at the station. He stayed with me for 2 weeks. It was awkward at first. He asked a lot of questions. I kept most of the answers simple. I didn't trash his mom. I didn't have to. Eventually, he went back, by choice, but he kept in touch. And not just him. The other 2 started messaging me too. Quiet stuff. Little updates. A photo here, a birthday message there. They were getting older. They were seeing things for themselves. Then my dad got sick. Lung cancer. Stage 4. One of his old friends emailed me. Said he was asking for me. Said he wanted to make peace. I thought about it. Thought about the time he told me I was selfish for choosing med school over babysitting. Thought about the way he never said sorry. Not once. Still, I went. The hospital room was quiet. He looked smaller. Old. He tried to smile. You made it, he said. I always knew you would. I didn't say anything. He started to cry. Said he regretted how things happened. Said he was just trying to keep the family together. That he never meant to ruin my life. I let him talk. Then I said, I was never the selfish one. You just never thought I deserved more than being your backup plan. He looked away. Didn't say anything after that. I left the room. He died 3 days later. I didn't go to the funeral. A year into my residency, I got another message. My sister. She was losing the house. Her job cut her hours. The new husband had drained her savings and disappeared. She wanted help. Said the kids missed me. Said I owed it to them. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I replied, I owed them. Not you. And I already paid in full. I blocked her again. I'm a doctor now. It took me a decade longer than most. I lost time I'll never get back. But I didn't give up. My nephews visit me sometimes. They talk about college. They ask me for advice. Not money advice. They're good kids. They still live with her, for now. But they know the truth. And more than anything, they know they have someone who didn't use them as a stepping stone. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's not about ruining someone. Sometimes it's about living the life they swore you couldn't. And letting them rot in the one they built off your back.